Hello, it's the police. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Hear me? It's coming from inside the house.
Now, since I live alone, I knew this video was gonna freak me out, and it really did. Why do I do this to myself? I hope if any of these situations happened to me or I found myself in a dangerous predicament, I would grab my cat, ensure her safety, and then run. I've tested my flight or fight nature many times, and 11 out of 10 times it's always flight. So fingers crossed I would not leave her. No, actually I wouldn't. She's my entire life. You guys know that. What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host, Ayman Hassan, and welcome back to another video. It is about to get very real right now. Lock your doors, hide under your blankets, and get ready for the top 10 scary times people thought they were alone. Starting us off at number 10 are the red eyes. Not gonna lie to you, I would have shat my whole heart out if this happened to me. Shared by Redditor Retaperator, this story happened while he was working at a farm in Northern California. He was the only person on the property at night, and that meant 650 acres to himself. One night after dinner, he was walking to his cabin from the lodge with a flashlight leading the way. Out of nowhere, he sees these red eyes staring at him from the darkness. He quickly flashed the light on it to see a giant pale white mass with red eyes. This guy screamed bloody murder and then ran to his cabin like his life depended on it. The next afternoon, while telling one of his co-workers what happened, he lolled and shared that there was actually some albino deer in the area, and one of them is usually always on the farm. I'd be like, you didn't tell me this beforehand, you snake? Coming in at number 9 is the garage. Now, if I was the guy in this story, I would have genuinely been terrified. Reddit user Sudden Terrible Haiku shared that years ago his parents turned the garage into a large master bedroom and replaced the garage door with a wall, window, and proper front door. Either way, the user was around 10 years old and had only been left home alone once or twice. He was left alone that night, and so like any other 10-year-old boy, he stayed up playing the PS2 and just vibing. It was pretty late at this point, and the sound of someone tapping on the window caught his attention. I mean, not straight away. It took him a few minutes to realize that sound wasn't coming from the game. It was only when the tapping started on the door and the doorknob was being rattled that he was like, oh hot damn, we're in a situation. He ran to check that the door was locked, and both locks were unlocked. Thankfully, the garage door would jam and act locked unless you really pushed on it. The kid locked the door loudly so whoever was outside would hear, and then he slowly hears this older man laughing. The man then moves back to the window and says, "Let me in, love, I'm cold and hungry. Don't you want to be nice to your neighbor?" The kid wasn't a dumb ass, so he closed the lights, ran to his room, and obviously hid under the blanket till his parents got home. Brave choice, I must say. But what the hell? I would be terrified if that happened to me at age 10. The tender age of 10. At number 8 we have the handprint. This one was shared by Redditor KevIncredible22, who said he was home alone showering and had the bathroom door locked. Mid-shower he heard the blinds fall down, so he pulled the shower curtain back to investigate what the hell was going on. He thought maybe his brothers had pretended to leave but were actually playing a prank on him, but when he lifted the blinds he was shocked. Fogged up from the steam, the window had one large solitary handprint on it. The handprint had to have come from inside the locked bathroom because the fog was on the inside, not the outside. Kevin even compared his brother's handprints to the one on the window, but it was too big. No one's hand fit. So whose hand was that? Honestly, I would have checked under the sink, you know where you open the drawers. People are usually hiding them there. Not that I have any experience. Filling at number 7 slot is Mike. This one comes from Reddit user Bod Hasatva, who said his parents let him walk home from school one day, and he was in around 4th grade at this time. He gets home and does the usual, you know, eat some Doritos, watch Cartoon Network, drink some Mountain Dew because he's a badass. Anyway, 3 minutes later someone knocks on the door, and usually the user would just stay quiet until the person left, but I don't know which demon possessed him to say who is it on that day. A grown-ass man replies, "Hey, it's your buddy Mike." Mans does not have an adult male friend called Mike, so he stays quiet. Mike then says, "Hey, open the door, we gotta go," and tries jiggling the doorknob open. He starts knocking on the door really hard and keeps trying to get it open. The kid doesn't move, so Mike doesn't hear his footsteps, and a few minutes later he hears a car driving off. This old man followed this child home and was clearly trying to kidnap him to do God knows what to him. Protect your kids, people. Tell them the lessons early. You know, don't talk to strangers, don't open the door for anyone. Look through the peephole. Now at number 6 is The Message. Shared by Reddit user Shatterly, this story happened when they were living alone in a cabin located in New Hampshire for 6 months. The cabin was built at the end of this dirt road, and the closest house was a quarter-mile away. Everyone just kept to themselves, and yes, the cabin sometimes caught the attention of bears and whatnot, but not random people. Either way, one morning as the user was walking to their car, they saw a message written on their rear window. It said, "I watch you." That is so screwed up. Like, who wrote that? How long have they been watching you for? Where do they watch you from? This is a proper horror movie setup. I'm out of here. Can you believe this person stayed in the cabin after that? I would have been like, hell no, and moved out. Coming in at number 5 is Mom. This one was shared by Redditor Dipshy, who said when they were young, they spent the day helping their neighbor rake the leaves. Now, I've never done this myself, but I would love to just jump into a pile of raked leaves. I reckon that would be quite a lot of fun. Either way, the neighbor was also a family friend, so he walked home with the user and inside, and they both had the user's mum on the phone upstairs just walking around. Their dad wasn't at home, so the neighbor said he'd just call them later or something and ended up leaving. The user then went upstairs to chill with her mum, but she couldn't find her anywhere. Turns out the house was completely empty, and so she called her dad. Her dad answers and she asks if he knows where the mum is, and he replies saying they've both been running some errands for the last few hours. So who the hell did she hear upstairs? Both her and her neighbor heard the mum, they heard the footsteps. Someone was in that house. Who? We don't know. At number 4 is the stare. This one comes from Reddit user Uncomfortable Liking, who said she was at home working late one night when out of nowhere she gets an alert on her laptop. The alert meant her security camera outside had detected motion. It is 2 AM. That is frickin' creepy. She checked the camera footage to see a person staring into her window with a full view of her working. The user immediately closed the laptop and lights and hid it in the bathroom. She then watched the footage as the guy just continued staring into the dark window for another 30 minutes. At this point, the girl was like, screw this, I'm calling the police. I don't know how she even waited that long. I would have called them the moment I saw this man. The guy ran away when the cops showed up, but came back an hour later. Thankfully, she hasn't seen him since, because probably he has a better hiding place now. He's probably still out there. Filling at number 3 slot is the ex-boyfriend. This ex belonged to a girl named Emily, and honestly, Emily, I prefer my ex over yours, no cap. She said that when she was 19 years old, her parents had gone away for the weekend and she stayed behind. After going to a party and getting pretty drunk, she pulled a Britney Spears and gave herself a haircut since she was moving to university next week. And I mean, what better time to give yourself a haircut than when you're drunk at 3 AM, right? Wrong. Don't do it. You're gonna end up with ugly micro bangs. Either way, she cut that shit off in the shower, and when she left the bathroom, she found a note in the hallway that said, I was going to leave you a note, but I see that you are here. Emily freaked the hell out because here she was drunk, walking around the house naked, thinking she was alone, but she wasn't. She entered her room to find a guy with hair covering his face standing in the middle of her room. She screamed her lungs out until she actually looked at him and realized it was her ex-boyfriend that she dated 3 years prior for a total of 2 weeks, until of course he ran away from home. Turns out he heard she was moving away and wanted to talk to her, so he obviously thought the best course of action was to just break into her house at 3 AM. They talked and he left, and she later found out he was institutionalized with schizophrenia, so I mean, I feel like that kind of explains some things in the story. Now at number 2 is the closet. This one comes from Redditor 2Abstract788, who said he was up late gaming one night and his dog was in his living room just chilling. I don't know why guys like gaming in the dark, it is so bad for your eyes, but whatever, it was dark. Suddenly his dog starts barking at his bedroom closet, and so he gets closer to the room to check it out. He could hear the sound of fingernails scratching the inside of the closet, but the closer he got, the fainter the sound was. When he got right in front of the closet, the sound stopped and he heard a huge crash. Stuff started hitting the inside of the closet door, and the dude ran the hell out of his room. 13 minutes later, he revisits the scene with his friend, and they open the closet to find his things everywhere. They searched the closet and there were no secret openings or doors into the closet or out of it, so who the hell was in there and how did they get in and out? And finally, at number 1 is the night before. This one comes from Redditor Luna Zeus, who lived in the bad part of an already dangerous city. Her boyfriend worked nights, meaning she was alone every night of the week. One day, her friend called her and told her to let him into the building ASAP, which was kind of odd. As soon as he got inside, he explained that he found some random guy crouched next to her car and had closed in on the friend, so the friend pulled out a weapon and the other guy just ran off. The user looked at her car from the window and noticed the man had left this green bundle next to the car and would probably come back for it at some point. Worried, she called the police, and 5 minutes later, 10 cars, a SWAT team, and K9 were surrounding their building. Turns out the guy had escaped from jail the night before because of repeated domestic violence offenses and possession of a deadly weapon. He had climbed into the yard behind the building and slept where the landlord kept his camper. He had also stolen everything in there, including a butcher knife. The scariest part was the night before, the user had taken her dog down to the yard alone, and her dog was oddly nervous. The fence had fallen down, but she just assumed it broke because it was quite old. Little did she know the convict was in the camper watching her every move. He could have killed her right then and there. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope I gave you some nightmare fuel. I know I certainly gave myself some, so I'm gonna be sleeping with my cat today. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. As always, I'm your host, Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, sheeple. Oh, we got, okay. Shared by Redditor Retaperator. Shared by Redditor Retaperator. This story happened while he was working at a Sorry. Coming in at number 9 is the garage. If I was this... I feel a burp coming. I ate too quickly. Did I say at the tender okay. Tender. At number 8 we have the... Wow. He thought maybe his brothers had pretended to leave. You're gonna have to put it up a bit. Look through the keyhole. Look through the peephole. Not the keyhole. Look through the keyhole. My burp's really at the surface here. It's really pissing me off. Dibshy, who said one day when... Well, this one was shared by Redditor Dibshy, who said when they were young... It's coming. I don't know how to do it.
You're like sucking air. Through your throat.
I don't know how to do it. Okay. Dibshy, who said when they were young, one day they spent... What? That doesn't make sense. This one was shared by Redditor Dibshy, who said when they were young one day... What is this sentence? This one was shared by Redditor Dibshy... This one was shared by Redditor Dibshy, who said they were... Ah! Okay, come on, just got it. Okay. This one was shared by Redditor Dibshy, who said when they were young, they spent one...
There's no one. Keep saying one. What does matter?
Ex-boyfriend that she had dated for 3 years. It finally came out.